Wind scrapes ice crystals like glass beads across stone. Leather creaks. A copper edge flashes. Beneath the clavicle, stone and flesh. A flint arrowhead halted where warm blood once sprinted. The first witness is an object that cannot lie. Entry angle shallow, from behind and above. The subclavian artery ruptured, an arterial bleed that empties a life in minutes. Open his stomach like a clock. Marbled ibex fat. Red deer fibers. Einkorn fragments. Heat still imagined, steam that no longer rises. The meal was deliberate, heavy, recent. A glove lifts a half-carved yew bough. Fresh tool marks under the thumb. Birch tar still bitter on the air. In the palm, a deep laceration, days old, pulled shut with animal sinew and grass, a field repair on the body itself. If this was robbery, why leave the copper axe? The rarest thing he owned. I am the time detective. This is Murder on the Glacier, Reconstructing Ötzi's final 36 hours. Case file, opened with clinician calm. Each clue earns its place. Body, CT scans track the arrow's trajectory from a higher shooter, rear quarter. The tip lodges near the left clavicle. Subclavian breach, probable rapid exsanguination. Cranial trauma is noted, but the sequence is debated, perimortem blow or postmortem ice shift. The skin is tattooed, about 61 soot and charcoal lines and crosses, placed over joints and along the spine like a map of pain management, therapeutic markers more than decoration. Pathologies read like a ledger, arthrosis in knees and spine, heavy dental wear and caries, arterial calcifications. His genome flags a predisposition to heart disease. Microbial ghosts survive, Borrelia burgdorferi, the Lyme bacterium, whipworm parasites, an ancient strain of Helicobacter pylori living at the seam of his stomach and ours. Kit, a copper axe, about 99% copper, the blade carefully resharpened, hafted in ash with meticulous bindings, status object and cutting tool in one declaration. A Ulongbo stave, unfinished, a quiver holding roughly 14 arrows. 2 are complete, fletched and tipped for flight. The rest are midlife, shafts waiting for the ritual of completion. Birch tar and sinew whisper alpine craft. A chert dagger in its scabbard. An antler retoucher for pressure flaking. A scraper. He maintained his edge as if his life depended on it, because it did. Birch bark containers. One bearing residues of embers tucked in with maple leaves, a portable fire that turns weather into choice. Another holds botanical traces we're still parsing. Tinder fungi, amadou and birch polypore, carry ignition and medicine in the same pocket. Clothing is a layered argument against cold. Goatskin and sheepskin coat and leggings, shoe uppers of deer and bear with grass stuffing, a woven grass cape, a belt pouch, and a wooden frame that reads as a backpack. Every seam is a sentence in the biography of a traveler. Path, pollen acts like altimeter ticks. Lowland species, hop hornbeam, are in the gut, clocking hours before death. Alpine conifers leave their dust on his clothing. The latter shows a rapid ascent from valley floor to high ridge in a single day. The stomach locks the timeline. Ibex, red deer, einkorn, herbs, a climber's fuel, not a wanderer's snack. Isotopes in tooth enamel fix his upbringing in what we now call South Tyrol. Copper isotope signatures in the axe point south of the Alps, Tuscan sources, evidence of long-distance exchange, and the social capital to access it. Scene: a border ridge in the Ötzi Alps, both road and wall. A transit corridor that compresses movement into funnels and funnels into risks. Preservation is surgical. The glacier is a vacuum-sealed archive, no scavengers, little bacterial action. A crime scene kept cold for 5 millennia. Early reports of multiple blood types on his tools are now treated with caution. The consensus: no definitive multi-victim blood map can be drawn from the samples. We log what is solid and mark what is fog. Now, pattern recognition. The copper axe was not taken. The bow was not ready. The meal was recent. The hand wound was days old. In the valley, conflict touches skin. His palm opens to the bone. That is not a kitchen cut. It is a fight, a blade caught or deflected. He leaves in haste, climbing hard, unfinished bow on his back because there was no time to finish it. He eats to climb, not to feast. Pollen logs a vertical sprint to a pass that narrows choices to one line of stone. On that ridge, the arrow comes from behind and above, classic ambush geometry. He bleeds out in minutes, the body's battery drained through a severed artery. And the axe, the copper crown, stays by his side. That is not theft. That is message. Or it is calculation. Extraction risk outweighed reward in thin air. Either way, this feels targeted, status rivalry, a grievance in the same tribe of exchange that could source a Tuscan blade. Ötzi did not just die on a mountain. He was hunted to a border, and the ice became his affidavit. Verdict and mirror. Status tech. The copper axe is a prototype of the modern status device. Scarce. Networked by trade. Identity-laden. The thing that crowns you also paints a target on your back. Border theater. He falls at a pass that is both road and wall. We still concentrate risk at crossings of land, of law, of ideas. Ambush thrives where movement narrows. Forensic revolution. Ötzi becomes the control case for ancient forensics, CT workflows, stable isotopes, ancient DNA, microbiome archaeology. The same pipelines track cold cases and chart pandemics' ancestries. We are learning to listen to what once could not speak. The ice is melting. Glaciers are opening their lockers. First World War boots, caravan gear, forgotten migrations. But with rapid melt, context rots faster than we can record. The past is surfacing on a deadline. Continuum of violence. A hand wound scales into a killing when status, scarcity, and terrain align. It did at 3,300 BC. It does under stadium lights, at border fences, in comment threads, in boardrooms. Different tools. Same ignition sources. Picture it, the copper axe on black. Its glow dims as meltwater ticks from the haft, steady as a clock. The glacier kept the secret. Warming will not. Our century is opening all the drawers at once. Here is the verdict. What we carry declares who we are, and sometimes that declaration draws fire. The mirror. In a world of devices and borders and accelerating archives, our tools still broadcast our place in the herd, our routes still narrow at choke points, and the climate is now our archivist and our antagonist. Join the investigation. Add your lens to the case file. Share this with the one friend who loves a clean timeline. Leave your read of the evidence below, and subscribe to keep walking the ridge with us. And the legacy question, one you cannot Google. If the ice kept your toolkit for 5,000 years, what signal would it send about your status, your tribe, your grudges, and when the path narrowed, would you carry it, or would it carry you to the ambush?